All right. Hi, everybody. Hang on. I'm going to make sure I'm up okay. Hold on. How's everybody doing today? Memories. No, Darlene. Come on. There. All right. Making sure I am live. Oh, there I am. Okay, good. All right. Happy Wednesday. Today is an exciting day. I do interviews on Wednesday, mostly highlighting other lady entrepreneurs like myself. I feel very strongly that we need to support each other and to lift each other up and use each other's platforms to highlight our businesses. And so that's what this is all about. Today, I have joining me Lois Hallock from Clearview Designs. She is an author of a book called Creating Your Perfect Quilting Space. Look at that from memory. And she lives locally, and Lois and I have only recently met, but I feel like we have become fast friends, which is always a good thing. So I'm going to bring her on. Hang on one sec here. Hi, Val Davis. How are you? Hang on. Let me put her on. There she is.
Hello.
Everybody, Lois, everybody. Oh, good. My sister's on, Anne Mary Duncan. Hi, how are you guys doing? I have you on my phone so I can see my comments because otherwise. Oh, and my friend Paul's watching. Yay. So I thought we'd get this ball rolling. Lois, why don't you go ahead and just give us a quick introduction?
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Lois Hallock, and I am author of the book, Creating Your Perfect Quilting Space. I am 30 years an engineer at Boeing, and I just retired and celebrated that retirement. Yay!
Party!
It was February 2nd. And I have been working as ergonomics and quilt studio organizing for about 15 years now. So a lot of that time I was doing my day job and my night job. And so now I have all day, every day, just to enjoy helping quilters.
Just in time for a pandemic.
I know, isn't that crazy? I didn't plan that.
I mean, you were planning on taking it easy anyway, but this is a little silly, right?
It's different. I'm not sure how much is due to that or how much is due to just retirement. So I'm just riding this wave and, learning as everybody else is.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
Lois and I met at an expo, and right before all of the virus stuff hit, and she does some featherweight stuff also. So that's how we became, ladies in arms with the featherweights. We became fast friends, and she lives very close to my house. Like, I think it's only was like a 20-minute drive to Snohomish, beautiful Snohomish, Washington.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to have her on because I thought that we could talk a little bit about the kinds of goods and services that she offers with her business. They go very well hand in hand with the featherweight world. And so, yeah, that's why I wanted to have her on. So Lois, I know you had talked about highlighting some products and
yes. However,
yes,
I wanted
show me.
Talk more about how we met because I just want to say how fun that was. Basically, I'm looking for a book that I sell to have at the show, and that was the Dave McCallum book that you actually carry. And I called you because I was going to do.
Oh, that was months beforehand.
Yeah.
Months. Yes.
And I said, can I get the book? And the conversation was, yes, of course, from you. And then I found out you were speaking at the same show that I was. Yeah. And I thought, oh my God, we're competitors. I feel so awful for, asking. And you were like, no problem. We're not competitors. No. We just fit hand in glove. And I was like, well, that's such a nice thing to say, And so my immediate thought was, this is a really nice lady, and I want to get to know her better. So I think the way we met was so fun.
Yeah, I know.
And then at the show, we helped each other.
Yeah.
We helped each other,
that
right?
That was hilarious.
It was a
because
riot.
you got confused. So everybody,
Yeah,
Lois's sister was also visiting from North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we, this is her. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Mary Lou. Mary
Mary
Lou.
Lou. So she comes over and we're chatting, and my identical twin sister Denise was helping me at the show. So I mean, I'm the pretty one, but we're very similar. So, I mean, people get confused. And so, uh, anyway, Lois and her sister kept getting confused between who they were talking, like, were they talking to Denise or were they talking to me? And it was comical. And it was really fun. Actually, it made the whole weekend go much better for me. And just having a comrade there, if you will. I think that
Yeah.
we all should, create a non-adversarial free market system. It keeps us all constantly innovating new products for our
Yeah.
customers. It keeps us honest with our pricing,
Mm-hmm.
and our quality. And as I welcome it. I mean, it's that's the whole reason why I created this interview thing on Wednesdays. So, um,
I loved it. It was so neat that you had talks and I had talks, and we both filled the room
yeah,
and we were both so jazzed afterwards. And
yeah,
I'm like, we don't step on each other at all. We
yeah.
compliment each other. And it was like the excitement just
Yeah.
built. And so, anyway, I just
The
wanted to say
pond
that
is big and there is
it is.
room for everybody.
It is.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm excited because I just put in my application to vend this year. I'm hoping we're like in close proximity
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can help each
Oh,
other
yeah.
out again. That would be
Oh,
amazing.
yeah. I love it. It's great.
I heard, and I was like, so these are the dates for next year's show, just in case you want to put them on your calendar. So anyway, well,
My
fun.
sister knows every year, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Good, good.
Yeah.
We have lots of people saying hello. We have Mary in Seattle, Louisiana. Um, Hello, Helen from Bellingham. She's my buddy. Uh, that's fun. Thanks for joining us, you guys. Cool. Well, tell me, I know that you basically retired. I mean, we did the
Yes.
show, you retired,
Yep.
and then COVID-19 hit. So,
Right.
how have you been considering adapting your day-to-day business and how you do business going into this new normal?
Yeah, that's nice that you asked that because what I do is organizing and ergonomics for quilters, and so many of the people that work with me don't live locally, and so we already had something in place for us to meet by Zoom or by FaceTime,
Good.
and so they basically contact me through my website, and then I get to do a makeover for them. And I have some examples that I put next to me here. Matter of
Everybody
fact,
loves a good makeover,
oh
ladies.
my gosh, a makeover. And so the tools that I use are part of my planner. And you can see when I open the planner, it's got a place to lay out your page. I don't know, can that,
Oh,
is that
very
visible?
cool.
Yeah. So people come to me, and I use these tools for myself, but this is actually my husband's office. And I'm not sure if you can see it,
I
but
can see it. Yeah.
recently sold a layout change to him based upon using my own tools to lay out the space because he's retiring soon too. And I want him to have a man cave and not be in my space.
Lois, this sounds a little selfish.
It does. And here is a layout from a client in Pennsylvania. And she has a large 40 by 40 space, and it's
Wow.
a 4-car garage that's finished and heated and air conditioned.
I'm
And she has
jelly.
a long arm. I'm jealous too, but no, it's a space that can be done completely remotely. So we met and consulted by phone, and she sent me information, and then I'll do 7 different layouts of her space, take a photograph of each one, and then send it to her. So um, I don't I don't feel like COVID actually played a role in that because we already had that in place. I think the new thing that I'm working on right now is to be able to do lectures at quilting guilds for the same tools, like using Zoom to do 100 people at a time and do the talk that I normally do, but via Zoom. So I think that's going to change. I think the whole lay of the land for quilting guilds and
Yeah,
how we interact.
I agree. I think for me, my business was predominantly out of the house.
Yeah.
I did a lot of servicing, obviously, in the house, and I house my inventory in my house. But for the most part, how I met my customers and my students was through shows and speaking engagements and all of that fun stuff. And for me, this type of forum with the lives and using the platform of social media has really helped me um, bring things, well, really keep the boat afloat until I can get back out in front of my people. And I'm
Right.
sure, much like with you, you're probably missing your people like I'm missing my
Oh,
people. Like,
definitely. Definitely.
it's terrible. uh
Yeah.
the the tribe of the featherweight friends are loving and supporting, and I mean, they just put a lot of joy in my heart, and I just really can't wait to get back in the classroom and out at shows and all of that fun stuff. Much like you, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is all about the people because it's the energy and the excitement around helping somebody.
Right.
And I find that when I get to meet with them in person, it's also, they walk away with what they need to improve their
Yeah.
space. And that energy feeds you into the next idea.
Yeah. It's very
So,
life giving. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
yeah, and interestingly enough, the one effect I've seen due to COVID is people that had wanted to buy a chair from me to improve their ergonomics in their sewing space actually kind of accelerated the plan and are doing it because they're having to work from home and they're finding that they're uncomfortable all day long in
Yeah.
this kitchen chair. And so suddenly the sewing chair is being ordered earlier so it can be the office chair too,
Right.
and then used for sewing.
Someday.
So,
Someday I'm
yeah.
going to have one of your chairs.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, I do end up with samples that need to be sold at a reduced discount, so you never know.
I
I actually
spend, I'm sure you can imagine, extensive hours sitting in a chair in front of a sewing machine, not necessarily even a featherweight, but just sewing machines making samples and all of that fun stuff. So I understand and completely agree that the importance has really upped in value with having a place that doesn't give you back pain and all that fun stuff.
right, and what I like to talk about is how to adjust your chair and how to
Great.
set up your workstation. So if you want me to, I can demonstrate
I'd
that.
love that. Go for it, babe.
Okay. So I'm gonna kinda move off to the side here, and you
We
let me
can
know if
see.
you have trouble
I'm
hearing
gonna,
me.
ladies, I'm gonna put her on the bigger screen so you guys can see her better. Hang on. Okay, now it's all you, baby. Go.
You follow me? Well, so I'm sitting in a chair now, and I've just adjusted it down, and I think you can see my lower body and my feet. So the idea is that your body be in neutral position. And neutral position means your legs are horizontal, your knees are about at a 90 degree, your heels are flat on the floor, your shoulders are relaxed. So you do a little exercise to like roll your neck and relax. Put your arms horizontal, your palms horizontal, and the distance from your palm to the floor is neutral position for you. So
Okay.
if you're going to be sewing, your machine bed, the actual bed of the machine, should be where my palms are right now.
Oh,
Now, when I turn, you notice where the bed of the machine actually is. And I'm going to put a ruler under the foot so you can actually see where it is.
okay.
So it's a good couple of inches different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I cannot be neutral with this surface. Now I deliberately have the machine on a little bit lower surface than a normal table, because if your machine was embedded in a table that's about 30 inches high, it would be about here.
Okay.
Now, how do I make myself neutral? As soon as I work on this machine, I'm scooching my shoulders up to try to,
Right.
or I'm perched forward on a chair trying not to touch the back. Well, what you have to do is raise your chair high enough that when you go under, you are actually neutral and you use a foot rest.
Okay.
And now my hands are neutral. Well, the footrest was something you couldn't find on the market. And so I had to come up with a design. And being that I'm an engineer, I messed around with it for quite some time before finding something. And so I ordered these hardware pieces. They can hold up to 500 pounds.
Okay.
And this non-skid keeps your pedal from slipping.
Nice.
And what I do is order this to the size that the person needs. So how would they figure out what size they need? Well, they would adjust their chair so their body was neutral to the floor. Like we said, measure the distance from the palm to the floor, just simply with a measuring tape. And mine is 24. Then measure the distance from the machine bed to the floor. This is 28 and a half. And you take the difference. So that's 3.5 inches. So I'm sorry, 4.5 inches. Can't do that. Isn't that funny? So then you would need a 4.5 inch footrest in order to bring your knees high enough and be neutral to the surface. Any questions about that?
That is awesome. I had okay, I've been quilting for 24 years. I had no idea that what the proper way to sit because of my shoulders with free motion quilting, that I needed to have my hands at a right angle. I knew I needed.
Correct.
So what'd you call that, neutral position for my arm? So I knew, but I just jacked my chair up, didn't even think at all about the foot area and how my leg was reaching down to get to the pedal.
It's the perfect way to make sciatica get a lot worse, is to reach for a pedal. And I'll show you also how to do cutting so that we have both.
Okay.
So here's a cutting table. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. I'm going to put the camera big. Okay, go. Now we can see you better.
Okay. So when you cut, oftentimes people use this kind of a rotary cutter, like an Olfa.
Yeah.
As soon as you put your hands on this, you have a tendency to lift your shoulder.
Right.
So this cutter, you have to actually use a slightly lower surface if you're going to use this kind of cutter, because you want to keep your shoulder down and your body neutral. So you need a surface that's about 6 inches below your palm to do this cutter. I still don't like this cutter. I prefer a cutter that keeps my body neutral. And now,
is that the Martinelli one?
Yeah, Martelli.
Okay.
Yeah. Martinelli's the apple cider, but Martelli is the cutter.
Good Lord.
It's fun. I say it that way too sometimes. So you see how my body stays neutral and I never have to lift my shoulder. So this cutting table is sized for me for this kind of cutter.
Okay.
So that's how you find neutral for that surface too.
I know that hold on, let me see if I can join us again. Oh, look at me. I'm good. So my mother-in-law has a lot of carpal. She gets like little bumps in her hands from not holding her rotary cutter properly and stuff. So I should recommend your book.
Yeah.
Too bad I missed Mother's Day.
Well, there's always a birthday, right?
That's right.
So the ergonomics side of things is kind of one half of my business. The other half of my business is the organizing side of things. And I always say that ergonomics comes first, because if you can improve your ergonomics, you've automatically reduced something pain-wise, you've improved your energy, you're going to do more.
Yeah.
But organizing is what people want. And they want to set up their space so that it's a way they can find things. And one of the things that I teach is folding fabric. And I thought it would be fun if I showed how to fold fabric. I actually did it for Ricky Timms and Alex Anderson on their show.
Fun.
And I'd love to repeat it for you if that's what you'd like to see.
We got a few minutes. Let's see what you got, girl.
So you take a ruler, 8.5 by 24, and any piece of fabric up to 6 yards.
Okay.
I think this is about 2 yards. And you roll it up onto the ruler, very much like a bolt, right? This looks like a bolt.
Okay.
But I don't use a bolt form because it doesn't want to slide off a bolt form.
Right.
And I'm scooching it around so that the raw edge doesn't fall at the very edge. Pull it off halfway, fold it over, and stack it. And it's funny, when I do the demo, there's always somebody in the audience that goes, you know, I'm going to spend all that time, and the first time I want the piece on the bottom, I pull it out and the whole stack comes falling down. So I tell them, no, take your ruler, stick it in above the one you want, and slide it to the back, lift the stack, pull out the piece you want, slide it back out.
Look at that. Nice.
But you don't ever have to do that again. So that's my fabric folding demo. And that's actually written up in my book. So I invented that. And what I like about it is you don't actually have to use like a piece of cardboard or any kind of comic book form, or you know what the others do. This is completely free because you just use your ruler you already have. So that's my demo.
I have friend Helen wants to know how much fabric stash is too much. Well,
never. So one of the things I do when I organize with people is I say, you bought it, you love it. I don't want to tell you to get rid of it. So I make it fit. So we actually calculate how many cubic feet of fabric a person has before we design the studio.
wow.
And in the classes, I get a range of people, and many of them are embarrassed to share.
Mm-hmm.
But the average person, the average quilter, has about 20 to 25 cubic feet of fabric, which isn't that much. I have had some in class that have had over 100 cubic feet of fabric.
Ooh.
But the rare person has close to 200. Nobody has close to 200.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting when you think about cubic feet of fabric. If you look on the back of my book, it shows a quilt studio here that has 10 bookcases, 5 on each side of the wall.
Wow.
Each one of those cubbies is about a cubic foot. So when you count that there are 6 cubbies there's 2 stacks in each cubby, times those 5 bookcases, this is 60 cubic feet of fabric. So people think they have a lot of fabric until they fold it and put it on shelves and they realize they've just been storing it wrong.
Yeah. Well, I know for me, I mean, I'm hardly an organizing expert, but my husband and I like to move a lot. And so, moving from state to house really has drastically cut down on what I'm willing to move. And with every move that goes by, I go through my stash one more time to make sure that I still, love it. Does it bring me joy? I Mary Kondo it, is what I'm saying.
I like that. It's good.
And then only move what I know I'm going to use. Long over are the days when I would just keep stuff just to keep stuff. Yeah. I move too much and we pay by weight and it's just not worth it. I will say that with this COVID-19 stuff, that I have felt very well prepared
Me too.
to be shut up in my house for a few months and have enough fabric to make masks and
scraps,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Oh, I can make bias tape all day long.
Yeah.
I saw that cute meme. What was it that said, who knew that I would become an essential worker? Or, they used to call me a hoarder and now they call me an essential worker. I can't remember what it said, but it was like, yeah, that's why I carry 3 totes of fabric around with me from house to house and state to state.
no, you're happy for it now.
Well, we should probably wrap things up because we're going to
Okay.
jump onto Instagram at 4:30. But I would like you to direct everybody how to find you,
Okay.
what your website is, contact information, storefront, ready, set, go.
Yep. So it's Clearview Designs at Comcast.net. That's the email. So get a hold of me that way. The website is also clearviewdesigns.com. Has a hyphen between Clearview and Designs. So clearview-designs.com. So yes, I have a storefront. There's lights, chairs, other products. Feel free to send me questions via email.
Great. Well, again, this is Lois Hallock from Clearview Designs, and I am Darlene with Featherweight Doctor. My website is featherweightdoctor.com for all of your featherweight needs, including machines. You can email me at info@featherweightdoctor.com, or if you prefer, you can follow, or subscribe to me on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. My next live will be Friday. I will be doing a sip and sew, or our Friday night sew in. I will be continuing work on my Tula Pink bed quilt, and that will go from 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here. Thanks for joining me all. Lois, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
me.
Thanks so much. This was fun.